Welcome to Bangla City SATV News. This is Nouri Alamin with the headlines. Persons enjoyed special privileges shouldn't be appointed to ECs, said eminent citizens at Search Committee meeting. Such students have called for the resignation of the new proctor. VC apologizes 27 days after police-student clash. Human rights expert concerned at the failure to probe on the murders of Jorno couple Shagaruni even after 10 years. The search panel to find suitable candidates for appointments to the Election Commission has been asked to not propose names of people who enjoyed special privileges and benefits from the government and political parties as well. The call was made during the first meeting between eminent citizens and the president-appointed committee today. Former cabinet secretary said any privileges person should not be appointed to the Election Commission. He also told the committee to make sure that anti-liberation people don't get a place in the commission. The committee invited some 60 eminent personalities to seek their suggestions and opinions over the formation of next election commission. The committee will hold talks in the 3 phases. The last meeting will be held on Sunday. 5 UN human rights experts have been expressed deep concern at the failure of the Bangladeshi authorities to complete an investigation on the murder of journalist Sagar Sarwar and Mehrun Roni and bring the perpetrators to justice even after 10 years. Experts said when crimes against journalists go unpunished, they embolden the perpetrators and they encourage more attacks, threats and killing with the intention of intimidating the media into silence. They even said the incidents appear to be rarely investigated or prosecuted. No response was ever received from the government to a letter sent by UN expert following a murder of Sagar Sarwar and Mehrun Roni in 2012. The expert also said journalism should not carry the inherent risk of being attacked, intimidated or killed with impunity. Shahjaral University of Science and Technology students have now called for the resignation of the new proctor. Such proctor Muhammad Alamgir Kabir were relieved from his position on Thursday and replaced by Associate Professor Muhammad Istad Ibn Ismail of the English department. Students said a female student was sexually harassed in front of the newly appointed proctor, but he did nothing to stop that. The incident is under investigation, so it was not a right decision to appoint him to a key position at the university at such a time. For his removal, they have placed their demand to the Education Minister. The students raised 8 demands during their 3-hour meeting with Dipu Moni at the Circuit House in Sylhet on yesterday. Meanwhile, Vice Chancellor issued a formal apology today over the January 16 clash between students and the police on the campus. Following the downtrend in the country's COVID-19 infection rate, Health Minister Zahid Malik today said that all educational institutions will be reopened after February 21st. He said this in a meeting with local doctors and politicians at Maniganj Gorpara Shubhro Center today. Malik said he has been discussed this with the Prime Minister and the Minister of the Education. He also said that all educational institutions in the world are open. So far, around 28 lakh students have been vaccinated and an additional 40 lakh madrasa students have been vaccinated. Furthermore, if any students faces any problem after the educational institutions reopen, steps will be taken to resolve it as soon as possible. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with Bangla City SATV News. Welcome back, and you are watching Bangla City SATV News. Let's take a look at what is going on in the world now. US President Joe Biden and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin will speak today as Western nations warned that a war in Ukraine could ignite at any moment. Putin requested the telephone call between the leaders to take place on Monday, a White House official said. But Biden wanted to conduct it as sooner as Washington detailed increasingly vivid accounts of a possible attack on Ukraine. However, the Putin jostling for the influence in post-Cold War Europe is seeking security guarantees from Biden to block Kiev's entry into NATO and missile deployments near the Russia's border. Washington regards many of the proposals as non-starter but has pushed the Kremlin to discuss them jointly with. Meantime, President Joe Biden signed an executive order on Friday after $7 billion in frozen assets from the Afghanistan Central Bank to his distributed for the humanitarian assistance in the country and to victims of the September 11 terror attack. The funds held in the US were frozen following the collapse of the central government in Kabul in August. Half assets, $3.5 billion, will go toward providing relief inside Afghanistan. The remaining $3.5 billion will be made available for the terror victims who have been fighting in court for the compensation using the frozen fund. Meanwhile, there is an outcry among the activists who say allowing any of the frozen assets to go to the 9/11 families is wrong, since no Afghan perpetrated 9/11 and the money belongs to the Afghan people who had no role in the attack. A story from the Trudeau administration. The province of the Ontario has invoked a state of emergency and says it will use the threat of hefty fines, jail time and vehicle license seizures to end a blockade that is crippled trade between the Canada and the United States. Border traffic at the Ambassador Bridge has been shut down since the Monday as part of the nationwide protest against the pandemic restrictions. On Friday, a court granted the city of the Windsor on the injunctions to forcibly remove protesters from the international bridge. The ruling came after Ontario Premier Doug Ford announced the province's plan to combat the disruptions, intimidations and chaos of the protest. Ford said the penalties of blocking key roads, including bridges and highways, would include fines as high as $100,000 and up to a year in jail. Meanwhile, thousands of opponents of COVID rules were encamped on the outskirts of the Paris early on Saturday. Nearly 7,200 police and the gendarmes are being deployed over the next 3 days to enforce the ban on vehicle convoys, police said. They showed off their anti-blockade arsenal on Twitter, publishing the photographs of loaders, tractors, of the removal of the barricades, as well as trucks equipped with the cranes or water cannon. On the flip side, the French Prime Minister vowed to remain steadfast, inspired by the Canadian paralyzing border traffic with the United States. The demonstrators include the anti-COVID vaccination activists. Hundreds of cars, motorhomes and vans stopped Friday evening at the gate of Paris, but a police source said no convoy had entered the capital. Myanmar's junta on Saturday announced an amnesty for more than 800 prisoners to mark the country's Union Day. Junta chief Min Aung Hlaing issued the pardon order. This pardon order had been given for the prisoners to commemorate Union Day's 75th anniversary. Those given amnesty will be mostly from the prison in commercial hub, Yangon, junta spokesperson informed. It is noted that because of mass protests, more than 1,500 civilians were killed in the last year in Myanmar. Meanwhile, the junta released about 23,000 prisoners last April month. Moreover, a similar number were released on last year's Union Day as well. 4 workers have been died in a blaze at a rice cracker factory in Japan, police said today. Around 30 people were on site when the fire broke out at the facility in the northern Niigata prefecture around the midnight. The cause of the fire is unclear. The factory is owned by the Japan's biggest rice cracker manufacturers and operates a production line to bake the popular snacks. However, deadly fires are unusual in Japan, which has strict building standards and violent crime is rare. Earlier in December 25, people were killed in a fire at a mental health clinic on Osaka. Brazil recorded the most deforestation event in the Amazon rainforest for the month of January. Reports said on Friday that deforestation in Brazil's Amazon totaled 430 square kilometers in last month, 5 times higher than the January 2021. This is the highest for the January since the current data series began in 2015 and 2016, equal to the area more than 7 times the size of the. However, facing international pressure from the United States and Europe, Brazil last year pledged to end illegal deforestation by 2028 and signed a global pact to stop all forest deforestation by 2013. Now sports news. Tiger all-rounder Shakib Al Hasan has not been picked up by any team in the first bid of IPL. No team expressed interest on him. He was in the first bid from the all-rounder list during the Indian Premier League auction on Saturday. Shakib had played 9 seasons in IPL among 4 teams, but in spite of his good form, he didn't get any team. Moreover, Australian batsman Steve Smith and South African batsman David Miller also remained unsold in the first bid. Indian batsman Suresh Raina also remained unsold. Meanwhile, veteran auctioneer Hag Emdeeds collapsed while conducting the first session of the Indian Premier League auction on Saturday. Chattogram challengers had been qualified for the Bangladesh Premier League playoff. Chattogram defeats Sylhet Sunrisers by the 4 wickets in the high-scoring match on Saturday. Will Wax unbeaten 91 power Chattogram to chase the target of 186 runs. Chadwick Walton and the Shami Hussain scored 35 and 21 in the middle respectively. Meanwhile, Sylhet Sunrisers posted 185 for the 6 wickets in the 20 overs after being sent to the bat first. The Lendl Simam smashed 42 of 27 and also added 54 runs with the captain Rabi Bopara for the 3rd wicket. Bopara hit 2 fours and 4 sixes to score 44 runs in 21 balls. It is noted that the Mrityunjoy Chaudhary scalped 3 wickets, while the Shariful Islam and Mehdi Hassan Miraj took 1 wicket each for the Chattogram. Before ending, we go through Euro Bangla City SATV News headlines again. Persons enjoyed special privileges shouldn't be appointed to EC, said eminent citizens at search committee meeting. Such students have called for the resignation of the new proctor. Visu apologizes 27 days after police-student clash. Human rights expert concerned at the failure to probe on the murders of journal couple Shagaruni even after 10 years. You are up to date with the Euro Bangla City SATV News, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.